dito sa interview ni Corina Sanchez, itong dating ICC judge na si Raul Pangalangan. Okay, Raul Pangalangan. I hope I pronounce it well, no? In 1958, came to the ICC from the University of the Philippines, where he has taught constitutional law and public international law. So dito sa interview ni Ma'am Corina Sanchez ay patungkol po ito sa kalagayan po ni former President Duterte sa ICC. So let us react on the matter where dating ICC judge na itong si Pangalangan ay siya mismo may ano siya tawag doon, may first hand knowledge when it comes to the legal mga posibleng mga mangyayari kay Tatay Digong doon sa ICC. As far as hindi ko pa nakita ito sabay-sabay natin i-react ito. At isa sa mga highlights na sinabi niya doon ay talagang ipinakita sa kanila nung siya pa ay judge doon ay yung kulungan ng ICC. Okay? At meron siyang na-mention doon kaugnay po sa kalagayan po ni former President Duterte. Okay? So yun po ang panoorin natin ngayong araw na ito. Yan ang i-react natin. Pero guys, bago ang lahat, help me po muna na i-like at saka i-share itong video na ito para kakalat ito sa taong bayan. Okay? Mahalaga like and share. Okay, ready? Sabay-sabay mo tayong mag-like and share. 1, 2, 3, go! Ayan, naka-like and share na ba? And sa mga bago pa lang dito sa aking channel sa Donmar TV, mag-subscribe na po kayo kung first time nyo itong napanood, no? Para lagi kayong updated sa ating mga balita. Okay, so without further ado, pakinggan natin itong si Judge Pangalangan. Okay? Ito po.
Handa na ba kayo dito kay Filipino lawyer and former judge sa International Criminal Court? Judge Raul Pangalangan is in the house. Wow, thank you so much, finally.
Pleasure.
Oo. There's been so much talk about the flood control projects, and up to now, people are still obsessed. It's all they talk about. Are you frustrated that they seem to be not really shelving, but have temporarily gotten amnesia about all the developments on the ICC case on Rodrigo Duterte in The Hague?
Well, I sure hope people don't forget that there are other battles going on elsewhere. But I'm also happy that people are, aware of what's happening in terms of the corruption in the flood control projects.
Are you thinking like a lawyer on the case of the former president, Rodrigo Duterte, or do you have your own personal feelings and biases?
Well, of course, I do have my own personal feelings, but for the purpose of this interview, I'll have to be a very proper former judge of the
Right,
ICC.
and I haven't asked him, for the record, I haven't asked him what his personal feelings are. Anyway.
Okay, so, babantayan natin itong si Judge Raul Pangalangan na sa interview na ito ay iset niya ang kanyang mood na kung ano lang yung nalalaman niya patungkol sa ICC na judge siya. Okay? Hindi po siya, tingnan lang natin kung hindi siya bias o magbibigay siya sa kanyang opinion. Kung flat lang talaga, kung talagang siya ay ICC na knowledge na judge na makapagbigay ng mga tanong, sagot sa mga tanong ni Corina Sanchez. Okay?
Nagkaroon po ng isang malaking desisyon mula sa The Hague kamakailan. At ang balita ko nga medyo iniinda ni Judge Pangalangan dahil bakit hindi nabibigyan ng sapat na pansin daw itong desisyon na ito na napakahalaga. Bakit mahalaga at ano ba itong desisyon na ito mula sa The Hague na kailangan alam nating lahat?
Okay. This is the decision on jurisdiction of the court. So the position of the defense of the Duterte's counsel is that the court has no jurisdiction over the case, and therefore the case should be dismissed. Because so
yun ang ipinaglalaban ng defense ni Tatay Digong na walang jurisdiction na hawakan itong si Tatay Digong.
He has withdrawn from the Rome Statute, and that therefore the court has lost jurisdiction over the case of former President Duterte. Now I consider this very important, Corina, because had it been granted by the court, and had the court agreed with the defense that there is no jurisdiction, then the case is all over.
And it sets a precedent.
Well, it says
kapag yan po ang ma-proven na walang jurisdiction ang ICC kay Tatay Digong, tapos na ang kaso na ito.
Sets a precedent for future cases. But the important thing especially for life in the Philippines is that if the court said yes, there's no we have lost jurisdiction, therefore the case is dismissed, and by today Duterte will be home in the Philippines already. Right. And you can imagine the political the sense of outrage of his followers that their idol was unfairly treated, the moral indignation. all the political theatrics that will follow. And of course, as you can imagine in Philippine politics, how some groups might
Actually, sir, mali ka doon na sinabi mo na idol namin si Tatay Digong, ha? Hindi po namin idol si Tatay Digong. Nagkataon lang po na kami ay sang-ayon sa kanyang mga legasiya at prinsipyo. Okay? Iba yung iba yung tinatawag na idol, ha? Yung mga DDS po, hindi po idol namin si Tatay Digong. Si Tatay Digong po, sang-ayon po kami sa kanyang ginagawa, legasiya, at sa tingin namin ay tama lahat ang kanyang ginagawa. Okay? Hindi po idol. Kasi yung idol, gusto mo lang yung tao, basta kay gusto mo yung lang yung tao, idol mo. Ganyan po ang idol, ha?
Capitalize on the dismissal of the case for their own political agenda.
Some people might interpret that as meaning that you don't have that much faith in the judicial system in the Philippines. Well, a lot of people don't. They don't have that much faith, but don't you also?
That is correct. Well, I'll have to go by exactly what the court said. The court says that in the jargon of the ICC, it's called the principle of complementarity. That the ICC is a court of last resort. It kicks in only if the originating jurisdiction, in this case the Philippines, has shown itself to be, and the jargon is, unwilling or unable genuinely to prosecute. So, and the usual defense of the Duterte camp is that this is an indictment of the entire Philippine legal system because our judicial system exists, continues to function. The courts are still open, but as I love to emphasize, there are two tests. The test, one test that they are responding to is that the courts are completely have collapsed. That is unable to prosecute. But the other test is unwilling to prosecute. So for me, if the argument is that our courts are perfectly functioning, then how come out of the more than 6,000 officially recorded victims, very few cases have moved forward? And that was the logic of the court in saying. And therefore, I will answer to a Philippine court. I will not answer to the.
Tama naman eh. Sa tingin namin tama si Tatay Digong. Kasi po, binoto siya ng taong bayan. Okay? Naging presidente siya, nakaupo siya sa Malacanang to serve the Filipino people. Kaya nga ginawa niya yung war on drugs kasi yun ang gusto ng taong bayan. Kasi nung panahon ng kampanya, sinabi niya, wag niyo akong iboto. Kasi kung iboto niyo ako, it will be bloody. Kasi ito talaga yung campaign ko. When I will become the president, talagang tutudasin ko lahat ng mga kriminal na magpahirap sa bayan. Yung mga inosenteng mga bata, inosenteng mga pamilya, yung mga nagbibenta ng mga bawal na gamot, ay tutudasin niya lahat yan. Talagang yun ang gusto niyang mabura sa Pilipinas. Kasi nga, hindi maiintindihan ng kayo mga taga-ICC, hindi nyo yan maintindihan. Not unless kayo po'y nakatira dito sa bansang Pilipinas. At that time, malapit na po tayong manarco state. But good thing, dumating si Tatay Digong. Diba? So ngayon, sa sinabi mo, tama si Tatay Digong na why would I answer that ICC? Sino ba itong mga taong to? Hindi naman nila ako binoto. And sa tingin namin, itong mga taga-ICC na ito, ginamit lang ito sa politika. Mga kalaban ni Duterte dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? Ginamit niya kasi wala naman silang laban dito kung dito nila magreklamo sa Pilipinas sa ginagawa ni Duterte. Hindi naman uubra. Because former President Duterte, lahat yan nakabase po sa batas ang kanyang mga ginagawa.
to the ICC. In fact, I recall Rappler at that time, in reply, just published a picture of the court. I mean, I was part of the court then. There were other non-white people, certainly non-white men, in the court. The president of the court was from Nigeria.
The decision was come up with from statements on TV by the daughter.
Yeah.
So the statements of Rodrigo Duterte admitting to these crimes
Yes.
can also be
Well, they're there already.
Imaginein mo ha, pwedeng isasangkot ng pwedeng ma-found guilty itong si Tatay Digong, ha? Not on their evidence sa yung mga kalaban ni Duterte. kung magbabase sa mga ebidensya, wala silang ipakita. So, unfair naman siguro ng ebidensya nyo na i-convict nyo si Tatay Digong using by his own words. Di ba? Na gagamitin mo yung mga salita ni Duterte dati, yun ang gagamitin yung ebidensya. Nakakatawa naman siguro yun, di ba? Pero kahit isa sa 6,000 na sinabi niyong biktima ni Tatay Digong, wala man lang kayong maibigay na ebidensya. Di ba? Tapos gagamitin niyo ang sariling mga statements ni Duterte, pamilya ng mga Duterte, para i-convict niyo. Alam niyo naman na yung mga some of the statements of former President Duterte ay pananakot lang yun ng mga kriminal.
I'd be interested how the court will that at the time of the arrest they were not a part of the Rome Statute, because some obligations there are binding only on actual members, and
Right.
so it redounded to their benefit, providentially.
and even after or post administration.
Indeed, yes.
And that being said, we're going to shut up now. Thank you so much.
Okay, so yan po ang nagtatapos yung ano ha. So, walang clear evidence, no, na makapagpatunay na si Duterte ginurgur niya itong 6,000, no? Dati nga 30,000 yan eh. Ngayon naging 6,000, tapos wala silang clear evidence. So, gagamitin niyo ang mga statements ni Duterte para ebidensya? Hindi yan pwede. Statements ng pamilya para ebidensya? Hindi yan pwede. Sa kanila yun, no? Meron naman tayong sarili nating opinion.